So, we've been talking about non-conscious and consciousness, and I read something somewhere that non-conscious thought is like 95% of all thought. Does that sound like a correct number?
A lot of people say that. We just don't know. I mean, what we do know is that everything we do is situation and task dependent. If I'm going to suddenly be asked by you to write down my 5 most challenging personal limitations, of which I have a lot more.
Oh, you don't have to write it down. You can just.
But just let's say.
Go ahead.
So you could see that consciously, like I'd be going, oh my God, this is tough.
Yeah.
And you could see my conscious brain would be hugely engaged.
Yeah.
What we said at the beginning, we project and we rationalize them. So that's a lot of conscious stuff.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, when the two of us have finished this interview and we just simply go down in the lift to go take some pictures outside, we're not thinking about what we're doing. It's just the brain's taken over non-consciously and we automatically do stuff. So in that sense, the brain is in a non-conscious mode a lot of the time. It's in a non-conscious mode when we sleep. It's in a non-conscious mode when we do these ritualistic, repetitive, non-thinking behaviors. But what people really are interested in is in decision making. So in decision making, where are we with the predominance? And that's why the peak performance discussion, to me, the peak performance world is so interesting, because you can see there, it would seem, and we're not sure of this, but it would seem that, we don't know the percentage, but that there's a dominance of this non-conscious brain synchrony that just gets the right optimal flexibility versus these intrusive thoughts which are conscious.
Yeah.
So in that sense, there are certain situations where it would seem that the non-conscious brain is seriously dominating.
What about this old dichotomy, and I don't even know if it's still functioning, the right brain, left brain?
That's a great question. It's not that there's no laterality. The brain has a lot of specializations. So the left side of the brain, for most people, right-handed people, is speech, detail. It's deeply real. The right side of the brain is more about pattern. No question about it. It's there, you can test it in many ways. We have laboratories where we do that. But it comes back to there is something above that, which is this conscious and non-conscious.
Yeah.
When I say above that, I don't mean better. I mean it's just more explanatory about the whole system. It's not just your left versus your right brain.
Yeah.
It's across the brain. That your left and right brain are actually massively interconnected. The brain has mushroomed in size. So there's something about this prefrontal cortex that massively increases our flexibility in terms of what we can calculate at any one time. It's given us this incredible speech capacity, detailed speech. But in terms of the things that we mentioned earlier, the ability to pick up cues, the whole notion of consciousness, nobody's sure that that's particularly human. I mean, there's a lot of attributes that are quite high level that seem highly likely to belong to many species.
My little doggy.
There you go. So seeing that whole big picture allows us to see that small things, small genetic changes can have enormous implications. But as Darwin said, man, despite his extraordinary kind of power, still bears in his bodily frame the indelible stamp of his lowly origins, and that's absolutely powerful. And they're not so lowly. Like these. You go to the game reserve, you see these incredibly adapted, beautiful, astonishing, other species.
I don't mind being an animal.
I mean, we have some distinctive stuff, but it's not so distinctive that I think that it gives us a right to kind of necessarily, to wipe out everything else. But that's getting too political. But essentially, I think looking at, again, the brain provides a good framework to look